BARK Radio.
What's good, everybody? It's Robo from All Bark back with another video, and today I'm bringing you part 4 of my top 100 players in college football series. Each part highlights 25 players, so this will be the final video of the 4 in total. This will be the first series of a bunch of preseason college football content I have planned for the channel, giving some early insight to my thoughts on the upcoming season. I can't wait to get back into the weekly pick videos this season, and I do have stuff planned for the NFL side this year, but that's all I want to say on that for now, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get back into the rankings, starting with number 25. I really like Kadyn Proctor as an offensive lineman prospect, and he's been really good for Alabama at left tackle despite the off-field transfer fiasco. At 6'7", 360 pounds, Proctor is a mammoth for edge rushers to deal with, and he's pretty mobile for a guy that size, which makes it even tougher. And it seems like his game elevates against better competition. This season, in his third year with Alabama, I'm expecting a jump in consistency with his performances. If that happens, there's no reason he can't hear his name called pretty early in the 2026 NFL Draft. Jordan Tyson beat out Cam Coleman for my third highest ranked wide receiver entering the year, and a lot of it had to do with the production, especially his performance late in the year. Over 1,100 receiving yards and 10 touchdown receptions on the season, but over 700 of that came in the final 6 games of the year before he got injured and missed the postseason. A breakout that large, averaging over 100 yards a game for an extended stretch, is incredible, and now with both Tyson and Levitt back for another season, Arizona State may have the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the country as it stands.
In charge of this program. Pressure coming and picked up toward the corner. Touchers in college football. The last month of the season, it starts with the route and then the competitive.
Isaac Brown was another stellar freshman performer last season and seemed like he came out of nowhere considering his recruiting ranking. He was actually arguably one of the 5 or so best running backs in the entire country last year, which is why I'm ranking him as my number 3 returning running back to start the season. An absurd 7 yards per carry and over 1,300 total yards from scrimmage as a true freshman is just ridiculous. He's not just an explosive runner either, he makes guys miss left and right with some incredible shiftiness, vision, and cutting ability.
Brown again. Speeds it. There goes Brown. It's a foot race.
Ruben Bain made my top 100 list last season and has since moved up even further to now being in the top 25. I think he's an exceptional edge rusher and a clear first-round talent. He played just 9 games last year and dealt with a lower leg injury, which clearly hampered his ability, but he still made an impact with 4 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. Now fully healthy again, I think this is the year he reminds us how dominant he can be for the Miami defense, maybe flirting with double-digit sacks for the first time in his career.
Musket got time. Now he's going to step up. Pressure coming.
It's pretty good pass protection by Georgia Tech. I've been saying it on that climb. Great climb in the pocket.
Lenora Sellers might have the most hype of anyone on this list entering the year, and it's warranted based on the flashes we saw in his first year as a starter in 2024. 2,500 yards through the air, almost 700 yards on the ground, and 25 total touchdowns to 7 picks are great numbers for a first season. But this is supposed to be the leap year. We see a more refined version of him as a passer, which has NFL scouts extremely excited considering his dual threat dominance with a 6'3", 240-pound frame, drawing a lot of comparisons to Cam Newton.
That was Simon in motion. Sellers got wide open. Pressure coming up the middle. Sellers has man coverage. It is.
Avion Terrell is the younger brother of Falcons corner A.J. Terrell, and Avion deserves recognition as one of the best DBs in the nation. Not only for his coverage ability, but his elite run defense and tackling ability. He registered a near 91 run defense grade, forced 3 fumbles on the year, and was consistently winning on the edge to shut down outside runs, while at the same time being amongst the NCAA leaders in pass breakups and coverage stops. He's a bit of a smaller corner, just 5'11", 180, but the tackling ability clearly is not affected by that size.
I saw you run that last week.
Quick pass, KC Concepcion. The ball ripped out by Avion.
Drew Aller has actually entered overhated territory for me as opposed to being overrated. Sure, he hasn't performed as good as some has expected at times, but the ability is clearly there, and we saw that during some of the playoffs, and the numbers look really strong from a statistical standpoint. He's a strong NFL prospect because of the arm and frame, but I think he's a really strong decision maker and rarely makes turnover-worthy plays. Over 6,000 yards, 53 touchdowns, and just 10 picks in his career stand out as some of the best stats in the country, and Penn State's roster is loaded for another big year again this season.
Eller steps up, trying to climb the pocket, goes down the middle.
Dylan Thieneman made his impact known right away as a true freshman at Purdue, showing out as one of the best safeties in the country, and then followed it up with another strong sophomore season despite playing in a terrible situation. Now after making the move to Oregon and being surrounded by elite talent, I think we see him perform at an even higher level. He's an elite football player with great instincts. He's super fast, both vertically and laterally, and has solid size, which helps him become such a powerful tackler.
Down by Thieneman, Harburg to run it again.
Frustration on the other end from a preventative officiating standpoint.
Garrett Nussmeier checks in at number 17 in my top 100. I think he's the number 2 quarterback in the country entering the year. Despite the turnover issues he faced later in the year, we saw some really high level ability at times and some fearless pocket presence, as he's just not much of a runner. He's just an absolute gunslinger who definitely learned a lot last season in terms of risk taking. If he cleans up that area of his game this year with the weapons he has at his disposal, we could be hearing legitimate Heisman hype throughout the year.
Mike Dembach left for Notre Dame. Downfield attempt. And what an
Pump fake. Nussmeier goes back shoulder.
Francis Mawanoa is a monster offensive tackle for the Miami Hurricanes, checking in at 6'6", 315 on the right side of the line, a spot he's been at since his true freshman season at Miami. Last season as a sophomore, he allowed just 2 sacks across well over 500 pass blocking snaps and was a great anchor for Cam Ward's protection. He has some room to grow as a run blocker, but we've seen the strides made from year 1 to year 2, and we can expect more of the same improvement now entering year 3 as a projected first-round draft pick tackle.
2nd and 10. 3-man pressure. They drop 8 against Ward. Ward, look at...
Florida's Jake Slaughter is a top center in the country and one of the best offensive linemen overall, and his versatility is a big reason for that. Slaughter registered elite grades in both run blocking and pass protection, the highest of any center in the country last season actually, and he faced some incredible competition. Guys like Walter Nolan, Deion Walker, Omar Norman Lott, Alfred Collins, the list goes on, and he more than held his own in those matchups. He's a perfect leader for a young quarterback with as much potential as DJ Lagway has at Florida.
Backed up 3rd down, quarterback run game.
Jermod McCoy may miss some time this season recovering from an offseason ACL tear suffered in January, but no matter when he comes back, he'll be one of the best corners in America when healthy. He's great in both man and zone schemes and has great ball skills and hand placement and coverage, and his athleticism is arguably his best trait. Elite speed and agility help him keep up with quick, shifty receivers, along with having the size to play on the boundary at the next level. McCoy is what an NFL DB looks like, and I'm really hoping he's healthy early on in the year.
Another aggressive shot. This one's going to be...
In terms of minutes, favoring Vanderbilt, and Pavia into single coverage, juggled.
Nick Singleton comes in at 13 for me. He would have been a potential second-round pick if he declared for the 2025 draft, but chose to return to Happy Valley and compete for a national title alongside Drew Aller and Katron Allen again. And now he enters the 2025 season as my number 2 rated running back. As the 1A for Penn State, he averaged over 6 yards a carry and had 1,100 rushing yards. But what makes Singleton special is the receiving ability. 700 yards over the last 2 seasons and 5 receiving touchdowns in 2024 alone. His skill set and a 6'1", 220-pound body make him an elite weapon for any offense.
Really good. Joe Singleton gets there.
I think Leonard Moore is deserving of the top cornerback spot. He's more than a difference maker on the outside for Notre Dame, and that defense should be scary good yet again with both him and Aiden Schuler in the secondary. But what's most impressive about Moore to me is the fact that he was just a true freshman last season and came in as a 3-star recruit. His game tape is phenomenal, and he excelled in man coverage. His upside's super high as well because of his size profile being a 6'2" boundary corner. And statistically, 11 pass breakups, 2 picks, and 2 forced fumbles as an 18-year-old is just ridiculous.
Daly with a positive run. Oh, loses the football. And
True freshman with a lot of pass rush ability. Stockton hit as he throws.
Cade Klubnik's my top quarterback in college football entering the season, and I didn't really hesitate much to put him in this spot. Sure, he's maybe not the best NFL prospect of the top quarterbacks, but performance and experience-wise, he's the most deserving. Last season, he led Clemson to a playoff appearance with a 4,000 total yard, 43 total touchdown season, where he threw just 6 interceptions. Just a massive improvement from a couple years ago, which leads me to believe we may see an even more improved Klubnik this year. Another step from where he's at already, and this could be the year Clemson takes home a natty.
Screaming for a flag as well. Nothing comes out. Klubnik hit as he throws.
He takes off running up the middle. First down inside the 35.
Spencer Fano is my top offensive lineman regardless of position. He was the number 1 graded tackle in college football last season, even over guys like Will Campbell, and did that as just a sophomore for Utah. He's the best run blocker in the country by a wide margin, but his pass protection is still great, and he's super athletic for how massive he is at 6'6", 300. He might end up moving to guard at the next level, but his tape through 2 seasons is incredible. The hands, strength, power, and fluidness all look elite, and I think his ceiling is sky high for the future regardless. This top 25 is littered with Clemson players, and they aren't done either. TJ Parker's an absolute monster on the edge for the Tigers defense, and a big reason why they've got national title hopes this season. Parker has some ridiculous power when he rushes the passer, and it helped him put up 11 sacks last season as a sophomore, which is one of the highest marks in the country. He also grades out as a strong defender against the run, thanks to an explosive first step and active hands that shed blocks and get to the football early. he should be a first-round pick next April.
And the play-action pass, and he gets planted by It's a blitz. He's going to get sacked back at the 30.
Colin Simmons was a member of one of the best freshman classes we've seen in a while performance-wise, lodging 9 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles in 16 games, and was actually named the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year in result. The debate between him and Dylan Stewart is a tough one, but Simmons does win the argument statistically. I think Stewart has a slight edge as a pass rusher, but Simmons is right there, and he's a freak athlete and already has a deep bag of pass rush moves, and I think his ceiling is best defensive player in America by year 3.
They show pressure. They bring it all out. Blitz. The ball's a loose.
Klubnik's pass knocked into the air and intercepted. Picked off.
Yet another Clemson Tiger is here in Peter Woods, who I think is the best interior defensive lineman in all of college football. He's a monster run stuffer and the top interior pass rusher in the country. He actually played a lot of defensive end last year and seems to have leaned down even more this season to keep that versatility. But on tape, he really reminds me of Jalen Carter and looks like a beast on the inside. He's just a freak talent that was getting significant usage as a true freshman on a loaded defensive line at Clemson. I don't blame anyone for thinking Wood should be even higher. I think this is the year he truly dominates.
Rushing yards this year, but it's only over 500 because of...
On 2nd and 5. Pressure.
Ryan Williams quickly became a must-watch player at true freshman at Alabama last season, and did so at just 17 years old. While I don't think he's on the same exact level as Jeremiah Smith, his elite speed, body control, and route running make him undoubtedly the second best receiver in America entering this season, and he should elevate to an even better year 2. The offense last year was definitely more centered around Jalen Milroe, and late in the year, Alabama's offense just wasn't at its best. So I'm excited to see what he can do with Ty Simpson at the helm this season.
Milroe looking deep. Down the sideline. It is caught by Williams.
Jeremiah Love is my top-ranked running back for the 2025 season, as he is for many others. The ability, the tape, the production, it's all there for him, and he's in a great situation with Jadarian Price behind him and take some pressure off his workload. Last season, en route to a national title game appearance, Love ran for 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns, and added 200 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. He had a 38% missed tackle rate, which was second in the country. I think he's the most athletic, well-rounded back in the nation, and a surefire Heisman candidate entering the season.
From their own 2. Jeremiah Love breaks free.
Dylan Stewart had some of the most impressive game tape I've watched in a long time for a freshman edge, especially playing in the SEC and facing some of the best opposing offensive lines in the country. He's a freak athlete and absolutely exploded into the spotlight last season, posting over a 91 pass rush grade and more than 50 total pressures across 13 games. I do think he can improve this season as a run defender, but the athleticism and pass rushing qualities are so freakish, I'm expecting an unbelievable year 2 from him that lives up to this ranking for me.
Arnold in trouble and sacked again. And the clock running at 7:11. And Reed's in the pocket, and so is Carolina.
Anthony Hill Jr. started as a true freshman at Texas and is now entering the year as my number 3 player in the country, and a lot of it has to do with his elite versatility for a linebacker. He's tied for the FBS lead in coverage stops for linebacker since 2023, and he's also racked up 13 sacks and 25 TFLs in that span as well. Not to mention 113 total tackles last season, showcasing that ability to find the football. I truly think he's the best and most valuable linebacker in the country by a decent margin, and should be the leader of yet another really strong Longhorn defense in 2025.
Milroe drifting back and now just steps right into the pass rush.
Caleb Down comes in at number 2 for me, which if you've been paying attention means the Buckeyes will hold both top spots in the top 100. Downs is one of the better safety prospects of the last decade and made his impact known immediately at the college level as a freshman at Alabama. Last season at Ohio State was a big one for him. Despite a lack of flashy statistics, he graded as an elite defender in both coverage and in the box, but I'm banking on year 3 being his best individually, with that elite play again showing up in the stat sheet.
Ewers steps up down the middle. It's intercepted. Caleb Downs has got it.
Jeremiah Smith is as elite as a receiver prospect can come and just posted arguably one of the greatest freshman seasons we've ever seen at the college level. If he was eligible for the NFL draft after just 1 year, I think he would have been the first receiver taken, but he's got to do 2 more years in college, unfortunately, for the rest of the country. He's the unanimous top player in the country entering this season, and there's a strong chance he's in contention for the Heisman Trophy in December, regardless of how Ohio State's season plays out.
Oh, no, Jeremiah Smith's wide ass open. Touchdown. And that's a touchdown. Heavy pressure, Howard delivers downfield. It's Smith. He's got it.
That's it for my college football top 100 for 2026. Let me hear your thoughts on any of these players, whether you think they're overrated or underrated in the comments below, or even any ideas you have for content on the channel in the future. As always, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
BARK Radio.